Broadcasting from the KMF Collective Studio, it's time for the Athletes of the Titan Games podcast. This limited release show features the stories of the 2020 contestants of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's athletic competition, NBC's The Titan Games. Now, here's your host, Katie Galley.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 15 of the Athletes of the Titan Games podcast. I'm your host, Katie Galley. In the KMF Collective Studio with me today, I have Titan Games athlete and aspiring mountain guide, Lindsey Hamm. How are you doing, Lindsey?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing awesome. Thank you so much for stopping by and sharing your story with us today.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome. So, Lindsey, just to get to know your background a little bit, where did you grow up and how, if at all, was your childhood shaped by athletics?
I actually grew up in Kingwood, Texas. And yeah, so I grew up there. I now live in Bishop, California. But when I lived in Kingwood, I was in probably like every sport possible my mom could put me in.
Yeah.
So I was in karate to swimming to gymnastics to cheerleading, basketball, which I only chose to do boys basketball because my brother was doing it, and then which they allowed me on the team. And then, so I was like the only little girl playing basketball with a bunch of boys for like 2 or 3 years of my life. And then, I played golf actually from when I was like 3 until I played on and off through high school. And now, if I go home, I'll play golf with my older brother. My dad was a really amazing golfer as a young child and almost made the PGA Tour, but had a stroke.
Wow.
So I saw like very much an elite athlete when I was younger around me. And then I got into climbing when I was like 22. So I think all the athletics, like the gymnastics and the cheerleading, definitely helped me in my career now with all the climbing and guiding I do.
I imagine, having the grip strength, especially from gymnastics or holding a golf club or just kind of all of that kind of comes together for climbing. And so, Lindsey, how did you discover climbing? Why did that kind of catch your eye and just make you decide that, one, you loved it, but two, you wanted to then aspire to become a mountain guide as well?
Yeah. So I went to college at Texas State University in San Marcos, and where one of my guy friends brought me to the climbing gym, and that kind of set the tone for the rest of my life. I was also a big ultra runner, so I've done like 5 ultra runs, or maybe 4. I would have to look at that in my life, and many races on the weekends, like 18 miles. But I also climbed, and then my friend Josh brought me outside to a local climbing crag in Austin, Texas, where I learned about the rope systems, belaying, and just movement on the rock. Then I moved from college, or from Austin, I moved to Denver, Colorado for a job after I graduated. And then, I was like really into climbing when I went on this climbing trip with actually my friend Josh for like a month around Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, New Mexico. And then I moved to Denver, and I just like fell head over heels for it. Then an ex-partner, he taught me about just like summiting, more technical rock climbing. And I got into ice climbing. I got into alpinism. I got into like everything with this person I was with for a while. And I then was like, well, I kind of want to be a teacher. I want to be a guide, because I really liked the process that I went through as a novice and now to an advanced climber. And on my way to becoming a mountain guide was within that process as well, of just kind of like, wow, I love being around people. I have a communications degree. Maybe this is why I like to meet all different types of humans, get them out of their comfort zone, because I know how uncomfortable it has been for me, and still at times climbing is uncomfortable and vulnerable, and I get out of my comfort zone a whole lot, so I get to help others through that. And so I think that I've seen a lot of positive outcomes in my own life out of climbing. And I know that I get to help those that are trying to seek that as well, like a new side of them. So, yeah, I love climbing. I love being outdoors, and I get to share that with people that it might be, always at a desk, and now they want to be outside and kind of nervous and scared. Maybe they didn't realize they were afraid of heights. I can help them through that. And yeah, it's just like a good environment for me and others. So I enjoy it thoroughly with the climbing and guiding.
I mean, it sounds amazing. And like you said, the idea that you could combine unknowingly. I mean, you got a degree in communications. And so realizing that you could pair this incredible passion that you have for climbing with actually helping people and guiding them and encouraging them in this career path that you've found yourself on. And so, Lindsey, for you, as an aspiring mountain guide, what does that mean? So do you teach people how to climb different, different places, or how does it work? What is it that you are aspiring to become?
So I can't really call myself technically a mountain guide until I've gone through like the mountain guide training through the American Mountain Guide Association. Yes, I'm a guide. And so there's different facets of becoming a mountain guide. There's a rock discipline, an alpine discipline, which has glacier, rock, and ice underneath that, and then a ski mountain guide. If you want to go through all three disciplines, that's when you get your International Federation American Mountain Guide PIN certification, where you can go anywhere in the world to guide, like with no problem. Like you can be your own business and be a very, very great. You're like a great expert and a great resource for those that are trying to do these big mountains that they can't do, and they're maybe just like hiring a guide because they feel safe, or they're trying to get to a learn to leading process in their own climbing career. So I'm right now going through the American Mountain Guide Association to become an IFMGA guide. So there's not a lot of females that have, or compared to the men in the mountain guide world who have their full PIN certification. I want to say it's still in the 20 to 30 range. Wow. And that's all around the world, compared to like 300, 400 men. I don't really know that number either. I'd have to go back, but just we're a very low number in the scheme of things, and I am part of that. And I'm pretty psyched to be a woman. I'm pretty psyched to be a guide. I'm psyched to be a climber. Yeah. So it's a process to where I'm becoming an expert for those that are hiring me, to keep them safe, to teach them systems that can be very, very challenging and not know when to use them at the right time. So, I'm like going through schooling again. It's a long process because you need to get your own experience and guide a lot. So you're kind of hatching out those errors that you might do during guiding on your, practice time outside with friends, and you're just becoming a very solid guide. And it's hard, you make mistakes, but not hopefully the ones that aren't crucial. So you have to do your due diligence. Like I go on to look at a climb that I need a guide in like 3 days. I'll go and run like 13 miles in, climb a little bit of the first 2 pitches by myself, or see what the approach is like to the base of the climb. And I go and do the descent as well. And then I'll climb it like a day later with my clients. Wow. And do like a 32 mile day if needed, because I'm going to do my homework, because these people are paying me to be a mentor, to be an instructor, to be a guide for them. So I am going to do my best always do my homework out there. And I think I don't know, I just have so much fun. I'm like, oh, I should go do that before I guide it. And that's really fun. And sometimes I might not, and try to on-site it with my client, meaning I've never seen the route. They've never seen the route, and we just go. But that's years of expertise and going through a lot of training with the American Mountain Guide Association and through the company I work for, which is called the Sierra Mountain Guides here in Bishop, and they do mentor training with me. So it's just a lot of like consistent continuing education.
I mean, I love that. It sounds really amazing and fun. And I love too how you like to have that experience sometimes before you are going to guide somebody through a climb or through a route. And so is the educational component that you're going through now, is it kind of equal parts study and in the classroom and also obviously practical experience and outside, or is it predominantly learning outside and climbing and experiencing different routes?
Well, it depends on, well, you do indoor work, like I'll get on the computer and route plan. So maybe it's a multi-day. I need to do my best to, like I make a list of the things we need to do each day, an itinerary for day 1, 2, 3, 4, itinerary for food and packing. So yeah, you do a lot of homework. You know, you check the weather. You ask other people who might have done the route, say if you're on a glacier, how are conditions, you know, and so there's a lot that you have to do as a guide to prep for each outing with guests. I mean, even if you've done it like 100 times, I just continue to make sure I'm always checking and doing my due diligence on even climbs that I've done before, because I don't want to be complacent. And we're all humans, and I don't want to have that one time like, oh, I should have done that. No, like I've done this 100 times. I'm going to be respectful of that climb and always continue to do checklists every time I do a climb that's new or old to me.
I love that. And I love what you said. It's, you don't want to be complacent. So even if you've done it 100 times, it's, you still want to be vigilant and aware and really help someone to the best of your ability, to their ability to guide them through. And so Lindsey, for you, where are you in pursuit of this? So wanting to become this full guide, where are you in the process?
So I have my single pitch certification, meaning I can take people to a local crag I'll climb up, set a top rope anchor, and then come down to the ground. That's called a single pitch, where it might go up to like 200 feet, and then you come down, or it can be 50 feet. So whatever that pitch is defined as. And then, so I have that, and then I'm going through the rock program right now. I have taken an exam. I have failed on that exam. So because it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
So I kind of expect to fail sometimes through these things, even though it's like hard. I mean, it just breaks your heart, you know, but those things I'm like, okay, now I know what to do better, and I'm going to come back stronger. So I don't think that that's a failure. I think it's just a stepping stone and learning and being a better guide. Because we all do fail. So I'm halfway through the rock program. I have my first alpine guide course down. I have my ice instructor, and then I have my avalanche courses and a Pro 1 course. And I'm about to do my snow. I was actually supposed to take my rock exam this spring, but obviously we know that things have gone, you know, downhill because of COVID-19.
Yeah.
So that's on hold. And then I was also going to take my alpine or ski this next year. It just depends, you know, on what the world looks like. It's kind of a expensive process too. So like I'm paying out of pocket, and some of these things are a little, they're pretty expensive. So I have to make sure that like I have the money saved for it. I go and get grants or scholarships or try to help fund my process. So, so yeah, it's a slow one, but I'm okay with it. I have no rush. I'm only 33.
Yeah,
and and I'm single, so it's all good. So I'm having a lot of fun throughout the process. So it's like slow and steady wins the race. And I have a lot of work actually coming up this summer, and a lot of things are going to be great. And I expect to learn a whole lot more in the next coming years and through my mentors here in the Sierra. And so I'm like, I don't know, getting through the process, but slow one. I'm not sure if I'm halfway there. I'm like, you know, a third there. So it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I love that. I love how your perspective on it. I mean, where you're at, of course, it's going to be a long process, but of course it's worth it because you found this passion and you're going to do it no matter what. And it's amazing that you get to experience all these different summits and so for you then, Lindsey, do you have to travel around to get all these different certifications like with the Alpine or with the ice, or can you stay in Colorado, or what does it take to do all those different ones as far as traveling?
Right. Now I'm based out of Bishop, California. I was in Colorado for a while. It's all good. No. But yes, you should travel around. So so I'll do prerequisites before my exam to be able to even get into the course. Like I have to put a resume together and they have to be certain, like I have to do so many climbs either with guiding or alone or mock guiding prior to the course or exam, and then whoever is looking at it will say yes or no to me getting into the course or exam. And so I'll travel all around. I mean, I've even gone to India, I've gone to China, I've gone to Alaska, I've gone to like around the western states to get my experience. And then guided for quite a few different companies. So that's given me a variety of terrain that I've gotten to work in. I've guided in Washington, which is one of the coolest places to guide. Just so much glacier and alpine terrain out there that I really enjoyed. So yes, you do travel as a guide. I actually have chosen to stay in Bishop because amazing rock climbing. I mean, we have ice climbing. It's not like the world class, but we have so much alpine, snow alpine and ice alpine routes that in the backcountry that are unlimited. So that's why I like it here too. And then also the skiing is amazing as well. So I don't really have to travel to guide as much right now. I kind of have it all in one spot. Okay. But once I get my full certification, I will travel overseas to guide more for sure.
Wow. That's amazing that this career would lend it to that. You get to travel and experience all these different things and outside no less. I mean, that's just so cool.
Yeah. It's kind of, I come from if you ask anybody that knew me in the past, they probably I didn't really expect this. I'm neither did I, you would have said that. I mean, I just went in the backcountry and climbed with two of my other friends I got back this morning, and I forget how much I love having long days, being really tired. And it was such a great experience, even just going out with friends. But I get to feel that with clients and stuff. So it's I don't know, it's one of the coolest jobs I've ever had. And hard work, it is not a give me every day. I work very hard. My body is tired. I have to make sure that I'm strong and train and get good sleep, eat well, have good, my mental game needs to be on, and just know when to be hey, I can't guide today or I can't climb today just because maybe I'm not in it. And we have our bad days and we have our good days, and just being very self-aware. And I think that's what I try to teach people out when I'm guiding. It's be very self-aware, be know your limits, have good expectations for yourself. Don't have too high of expectations, and enjoy the process and have fun. But be diligent, and don't be complacent, and learn from everybody, learn from every occasion. If if something happened that day, maybe there was an accident, don't joke around about the accident. Talk about it, debrief. As a recreational climber and as a professional, you should all be taking the time to debrief on a situation, good or bad, to learn from those situations, to not have them again, or improve from things that you may see in the outdoors. Maybe it's just how another human is treating another human. Stand up for things and know the history of where you're climbing, and be good to the earth, and don't run over brush when you're parking, and pick up trash, and honor other people out there. So I get to show, that's why I love guiding, because I get to like express that and be very like, I get to put people in check in a certain way of when they're out there. It's not a roller coaster ride, guys. Like, this is still real. When we're out on a multi-pitch, like, or a bigger alpine day or on a glacier, like, yes, we're going to have fun, but like, there are dangers everywhere,
Yeah.
and be very respectful.
Yeah, I love what you said. It's like respecting it and having honor, even if you've done it 100 times, or even if you've done it with these same people a bunch. It's being respectful of what you're about to do, the climb, and just everything around you. And so, Lindsey, with this, I mean, really amazing life that you've led, you're on this awesome career path and just path in general. How did it come about that you would become a contestant on this season of the Titan Games?
Yeah, I actually got this email from, I think, Nancy, and she was so nice. I thought it was a joke at first, to be very honest, because I was like, what is this? And I was actually in China.
Wow.
Climbing, and I was like on a rest day, and I was like, dude, I like yelled at my friend. I was like, look at this. And he was like, you should explore that. I was like, well, why not? So I interviewed with Nancy and, God, I forgot. Now I'm going blank. Don't put this on there. Anyways, with two individuals, and they actually made my video for me. And I said I'd try out. Listen, I had this year of 2019 of trying everything.
I love it.
I just had this like moment of like, I'm just going to say yes to everything and see what happens in my life.
Heck yeah.
Okay, and just see, like, even if it goes poorly, I'm just going to go for it.
Heck yeah.
And have a good laugh, or have the best time of my life. So I said yes, and then I went to the tryout at the Combine in Burbank. And I was probably there was a couple of people I talked to. I was out of my element for sure, because all these people have like chiseled jawline, like ripped bellies. And I'm like, oh my God, like I want a cookie right now and I'm going to eat it. And I'm going to gain 5 pounds and I don't care. So it was just really funny how I was out there. Like, I don't think anybody expected me to be the show. And I think there's a couple of people who were like, where did you come from? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just that human just pops up. So I do pretty well, I guess, like there. And yeah, and then I was on the Titan show, and it, like, honestly, like, or I guess it's a competition, I shouldn't say show, but yeah, I didn't expect myself to kind of do it. And I am maybe I'll call myself a dirtbag, but I knew that I was going to get some money out of it. And I was like, oh, this is going to fund my trips. Sure, yeah. I'll do it. So it funded some of my trips that sadly are not happening. So it's okay. And then, but yeah, it was such a fun experience. I will say that whatever the outcome, or however the outcome is on that show, who won or didn't win, I met the coolest people of my entire life. Like, I am so lucky that I went, because I would have never met any of those people otherwise. Mm-hmm. And how freaking cool is that? Like, we're all from different backgrounds. I mean, they're all like CrossFit people, and I got to see a different culture of athletics and how they're such a family and such a team. It was so cool to be part of that. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and I am so thankful that Nancy found me on the internet, because I came out the winner, I feel like, mm-hmm. Out of the whole thing.
My favorite thing that you said is, I mean, I love that you had no idea what this was going to bring you, but it was your year of trying everything. And so no matter what, you're going to say yes, walk through those doors of opportunity and see what came of it. And like you said, I mean, it was, even though it sucks you didn't get to go on your trips yet this year, you got this experience of being surrounded by these people who were just experiencing different parts of life, or going through their own obstacles and overcoming things. But two, you're all on that same mission of overcoming and encouraging and wanting to be better human beings and be better for others. And so it's just, that's amazing that you all came together and that you got to experience that.
Yeah, for sure. Like, definitely, like, unlike but unlikely like friendships happen, because it's like, I don't know if I would have ever been a CrossFitter. You know, I don't think I am. I mean, they work hard. Their muscles are insane. So I was like just looking at everybody, where I'm over here like drinking mimosas and like they're like chiseled bodies. I'm like, holy crap, I gotta do some work. But they're so encouraging. No one shames anybody. Everyone's so beautiful to one another. And it was just like really cool to meet like people I'm gonna be friends with for the rest of my life, you know? And it would have never happened if I hadn't gone. And, you know, the competition was pretty hard, like definitely not like my style of strength, other than some of the competitions that I did. Like just to clear the air, like not the hardest mountain I've ever climbed, because they kept asking me that. And I was like, no, there's no danger to it. Yes, it was a hard obstacle course for sure. Like for 3 or to 5 minutes, freaking hard. Like, so yeah, I saw a different side of me, and I got to kind of see how these other individuals that I'm surrounding myself with, like they all compete. So this was like really weird for me. Like I don't really compete, you know, in my everyday life. Like I just need to either summit or elite or retreat, you know? And so this was a different side of me, and I haven't been on like I haven't competed or been in like a you know, play basketball competitively since I was like young, you know? So I was like, this is interesting. And like, it was so much adrenaline rushing, you know. I think I blacked out in one of them. I swear. I like was like, oh, I'm at the finish line. Oh, okay. And like, I was like, I'm there. So it was kind of a funny scenario, you know, and I had a lot of fun with people on stage. Like me and Jamara like went against each other, and me and her were like dancing right before we're like taking off, and I was just getting the crowd going, because I was like, I don't know, man, like this is a good song on. It's kind of nerve-wracking right now. Like we're about to compete. Like I haven't done a competition in forever, so it was going against people who do that a lot, like of the CrossFitters. Like they know how to compete, and so just seeing their focus and drive, it like, you know, pumped me up the entire time. Yeah, it was so much fun.
I love really that. Fun. And you know what's funny, Lindsey, is you brought that up with you and Jamara. So I live in Atlanta, and I was there when you went up against Jamara. And, cool. And I was on your side when you were hyping everybody up. So I remember that. So yeah.
I was like, this girl is like, and then Jamara started dancing. I was like, yeah, girl. I could tell she was super nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, crap, I was too. But I was just like, me and her, like, regardless of like the outcome and that, like we're both like really hardworking individuals. So I wanted her to succeed as well as me succeed in that. So I just giving a little humor to things always loosens it up, and like will like really get you in my mind, like, you know, focus. So I just needed to loosen up for a moment, because I was like, I'm going to pass out.
Absolutely. And I love that. Like it's, of course you guys were getting ready to compete, but too, like you said, I mean, you support each other and you wanted the best for one another too. And I loved your give and take was great. I mean, you were just excited and getting ready to go. And even after, I mean, you guys were hugging, and it was, I mean, you just clearly, supported one another, and it's just, you competed, of course, and you want to come out on the top, but you want the best for the other person too. And I think that's a really cool thing that is apparent in the Titan games. I mean, because it's competitiveness, and obviously that comes out, but it's just wanting that best for the other person too. And so Lindsey, for you then, I mean, getting like having that experience with Jamara and getting to experience and become friends with all these other individuals who, like you said, maybe would have never encountered, or getting to see their different walks of life, having this experience, what would you say is your definition of a Titan?
Oh, I think that strong-willed. I think just empowerment. You know, athleticism, focus, drive, like all of passion, everything, all those words. being a competitor is a titan, like someone that also uplifts other humans and helps others when things are tough. I think that a titan can define a lot of things right now, especially with what's going on in our world. And hopefully our stories have inspired people, and we'll keep that, uplifting, or to uplift like the tensions right now at home, and maybe help others, by just watching us and like, okay, if they can do it, those are ordinary people, but there's titans as well. Like, I can do that too. I'm going to strive to be better to whatever it is. I don't know, just a lot of just being empowering to others that are around you, and inspiring and motivating, and just being a helper. So I think the titans are strong people.
Yes, 100%. I mean, mentally and of course physically, but it's just that strength that is unique to that. And like you said, being strong-willed and being that all-around person. And so, Lindsey, too, I mean, knowing that you've had this incredible experience, and then too, the show was created by The Rock. And so, in light of that, of course, once you discovered that, I wonder, do you remember maybe the first time you became aware of who The Rock was, and maybe if he inspired you or just became aware of his existence?
Well, I wish I had actually met him a little bit more, and I wish my older brother was there.
Yeah.
Because my older brother and I bless my mom, because she would take us to WWF, WWE, all the wrestling matches when we were younger. Do you know how many times I got the people's elbow when I was younger by my brother Taylor? In the SmackDown, like, there
amazing.
Was so many times. Thank you, Rock, because I was tortured as a child.
Love it.
So, I blame The Rock. No, just kidding. No, it was. I've been a fan since I can remember. I've been watching wrestling with Hulk Hogan, and God, there's WrestleMania and all those people there. Yeah, I grew up on it, so it was kind of amazing to be part of this show, because my older brother was like, I hate you. Like, we both wanted to be gladiators when we were younger, and you got it. What the heck? And I was like, it's because I'm the stronger sibling.
Of course,
sorry.
Obviously.
And so we joked about that. And I tried to get my brother to come out, but he, with, two boys, it just, wasn't working. But, my dad used to make us watch all those wrestling matches, and then my poor mom would go with us, and then my poor mom would get the phone calls like, Taylor did the people's elbow again to me, and he did the SmackDown. I hate him. Like, so it was lots of practice on the mattress in my upstairs brother's room, for sure.
Of course.
So, and then he would like pawn me off to his friends to do the same. Like, Lindsey will let you. Don't worry. Like, I did the pile driver to her the other day. She's fine. So, like, I'm lucky I didn't die as a child.
Oh man, what are big brothers for?
Yeah.
If not that's great. Oh, I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can remember that back then, and then too, having that. I mean, of course, there were so many, like, your year of doing things that came up and saying yes to everything. But then the idea that would come out of it, that you'd be on a show that The Rock created, and, reflecting back on your childhood, that's really cool. I love that.
Yep. That was a cool experience. My brother has been jealous from day one. So I'm going to just keep dangling those carrots,
there you go,
around him.
Yeah.
The Rock. I'm like, I don't know if you know, I was a gladiator. And I'm at The Rock. So, Lindsey, like 5, Taylor 0.
Always
have that. Hate me for this.
Always have that leg up. Hey,
Yeah, there you go.
I love it. Well, Lindsey, I mean, you've led honestly such an incredible life, and having this experience with the Titan Games, and then too pursuing in your professional life to be a mountain guide, looking forward, knowing that of course this platform is going to catapult you forward. You're going to achieve so much that you set your mind to. I just have one final question that I ask all of my interviewees. What do you want to be remembered for?
Just, I don't know. I think I was like the goofy one that some of it wasn't expressed on, camera, but I told a really good joke, and I'm hoping that they put that on there. also the one that like wasn't like, I took everything seriously, but I was having a lot of fun throughout the entire process. And to know that like, you know, don't be scared of trying new things. All these people that were on the show, you know, we put a lot of hard work into our everyday lives, and know that like, when you have a goal and you want to pursue it, like all of us have achieved a lot of goals, and just, you might fail a lot, you know, but at the end of the day, like you're going to succeed so many other times, and that's okay to fail, because when the time comes, like it's going to be your shot. And I think that that's kind of like why we all were, you know, chosen to be on this competition, because we all have a lot of drive, and we all have really love reaching personal goals, because it puts us out of our comfort zone. So I mean, it's okay to be uncomfortable for a moment. So I think that I was really uncomfortable the entire time, and I still had so much fun, and I crushed. So I was psyched, you know, like, and I met the coolest people. So yeah, I think I had a lot of smiles on my face the entire way through it. So yeah, just a lot of things. I think that it was a great experience.
Thank you all for tuning in to today's installment of the Athletes of the Titan Games podcast. To learn more about each of these Titan athletes, be sure to check out their information in the links in my show notes. Furthermore, to stay up to date on all things coming out of the KMF Collective, be sure to subscribe to the Keep Moving Forward YouTube channel and follow along on social media, also available in the show notes. As the creator of the Titan Games, Mr. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson says, "Titans aren't born, they're made." And I hope today's story helped you realize all that you are capable of becoming if you put in that hard work and just keep moving forward.